And welcome back to LinkedIn Logs, the jobs podcast for the website cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. You should go there. Welcome back in episode 55 of this job show, whatever it's called. I don't know. Let's see what's been going on with my day. I just came back from a movie, a nice midday movie. A nice 12 o'clock movie. I showed up at 12:25. You see, I build in the bubble for the trailers. I can watch trailers anytime. I don't want to sit there and watch trailers I can see on the internet. Also, I go to a fair amount of movies. I don't want to just sit there and see the same trailers over and over again. I have to turn off the iPad. It's at 12%. I have to wait. So I build in the bubble. I show up at 12:20. I meant to show up at 12:20. I showed up at 12:25. It's completely my fault. I was editing a video, an interview for a comedian that comes out the day after this on the Constitutional's feed, and it took me an hour and a half. Then I took Maverick out. Then I made a lunch. Yes, I bring my own lunch into the movie. They have my money. I'm not going to spend money on popcorn. I will spend money on popcorn, but I won't spend it. And when I don't need to. I saw The Whale. And then we'll get back to the job stuff. I saw The Whale, Brendan Fraser in The Whale. And usually I bike over. This time I had to drive. But usually I bike over. And when I bike, I have a book bag with me. It has my helmet and my lock and all that stuff. But because I have a book bag with me, just bring lunch in there. So I saw The Whale. If you've ever seen The Whale, oh my goodness, it is a it earns its R rating, and also it's disgusting watching Brendan Fraser in a what he calls a big bodysuit or whatever that he called it, but it's a fat suit, lumbering and eating so much disgusting food. And I had a salad. I usually bring a salad or a sandwich. And I had a salad. And it was just disgusting watching him just eat like meatball sandwiches and like candy and stuff. And just it's coming out of his mouth. It was just disgusting. I was in there eating a salad like, oh my gosh. And I'm getting like sick eating the salad. It had avocado and bacon and kale and broccoli and carrots and something else. That's probably it. I made it myself. And it was big. It was in a nice Rubbermaid container. Oh my gosh. Oh, this would be a great news story. Let's just talk about it. I just saw something pop up in the C Plus Comedy email account that we could just hop right into it. Okay, this is the Jobs Podcast. What's been going on my LinkedIn as well? Nothing's been happening. I posted something like, hey, still looking for a job. I did post the word shit inside of that. But you know what's interesting? This is, and interesting is my favorite word apparently. This is why I think LinkedIn is the worst social media platform. It is so stupid that I post something funny and cheery, like at the start of this post, I wrote, "Believe it or not, I still don't have a job." I put music notes with it. I can't believe that it's been 10 months. And I was like, seriously, please send me anything! ! In the meantime, I'm still doing all the shit I do at cpluscomedy.com, so check it out! ! And I wrote my super kick-ass portfolio, I put in my portfolio, it's chadcwhite.com. And then I talked to people in the entertainment industry, and then I linked to cpluscomedy.com, the interviews. And then I posted the latest episode of the LinkedIn Logs. At that point was episode 54. And it's like it only gets 94 impressions. Looking at the analytics versus, and that's a very engaging post versus I could click on my homepage right now and somebody could write a suicide note essentially. And truly they'll get, I'm getting a cramp. Oh my goodness. It hurts like hell. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Today was leg day, and I'm getting a very bad cramp in my hamstrings. Anyway, someone could write a suicide note, and holy shoot in a bucket. Okay. Anyway, someone can write a suicide note, and I'm up, and they'll get like 40,000 likes and comments and responses and job offers and their comments, versus like me who writes something that's pretty funny or endearing about how I got hit by a friggin' car when I was on my bike, and yet I get nothing. I like truly get nothing. This is insane. It hurts, and I'm not gonna stop this show, because the show must go on. But if you're watching the video, you can fully see me contorting my entire friggin' body because it hurts. So anyway, oh my God, I can't even sit up in my chair. This is how bad it is. So that's what I'm dealing with that. I have made money on my audiobook ventures for Audible, which is great. I've made money on one thing. Actually, no, they did just send me an email for something else. Let me see what that is. October 21st. Oh, excuse me. There's another book I made money on. A whole $10. No big deal. That's very funny. I'll have to look at that in a second. That is so funny. So the first book I made $10 on. The second book, because that's royalties. The second book I made substantially more. Like, comparatively, substantially more. Whatever. Anyway, let's get into the first story. This comes from NPR.org. If you're wondering if I still have a cramp, yeah, I'm stretching my leg out and I definitely still have a cramp. This comes from David Flick. Taylor Lorenz leaves Washington Post after rift with editors. If you are somebody who knows who Taylor Lorenz is, she is a writer who is, I think, my age. I think she's 31. I think we're both the same age. And she has written for so many great publications, including the Washington Post, the New York Times. I will say this before we get into the story. I do think she is a good writer. I don't necessarily like the things that she covers. And usually her beat is tech, and usually her beat is like social media. And I'm just like, I'm not a social media person. So I just don't give a hoot about, she'll write about the latest craze or something, but she's a fantastic writer because she goes in depth and she will embed herself in those worlds, which is fine. But I want to say that she is she's a good writer. She's a really good writer, and she has gotten herself in hot water several times before. I feel like it's gone at this point. Can I sit up? Because I look insane. If you watch the video, you can just truly just see me double over in pain, but continue pushing through because I'm a trooper. A couple of weeks ago, she left the Washington Post on her own accord due to something that that a lot of people say that she did. And some other people will say that, that she says she didn't. Let's hold on about that. Let's see. Okay. Since August, its editor, the Washington Post editors had grappled with the disclosure that Lorenz had labeled President Biden a war criminal in a selfie from a White House event in which Biden was visible in the background. She had circulated the picture to friends in a private social media post. What essentially happened is she was covering something at the White House, and Biden was speaking, and I believe she took a selfie. You could see her in it. And there was like a little line and it said war criminal smiley face, something along those lines. Let me see if I can find the picture. I can't, they haven't linked to the picture. So that happened. And it was on her Instagram for her close friends, not for everybody. I believe she has since locked her Instagram. I still I follow her, so I'm a part. I can see everything. But so that photo got out. I guess somebody took a screenshot and sent it around. And then at some point she said, "Hey, I didn't do that. That's AI. You guys are idiots." I think that's exactly what she said. I think she told me, he's like, "You guys are idiots. How dare you?" Oh my gosh. You people, this is what she said. She tweeted, "You people will fall for any dumbass edit someone makes." She told editors that someone else had added the caption to the photo. Now, she quits. She quits the Washington Post because it turns out that the photo is real, and she just will not admit it. How she got into this meeting: she acquired credentials, to attend the Democratic National Convention as a influencer and not as a reporter for the Post. So while she was hired by the Post, she wasn't affiliated with the Post in that one instance. Anyway, she quits and she creates her own news magazine on Substack. She has a big following, and she can truly, she's one of those people that could do that. Kind of like Casey Newton when he left The Verge. In her new magazine, she writes more bluntly, quote, "It's increasingly difficult to communicate the urgency or importance of certain stories to bosses who have zero understanding of the world I cover." She's one of those people that's extremely online, which is Folkenflick writes in this, and it's very much apparent if you follow her on any social media. Oh yeah, she did work for The Atlantic. That's right. At the Post, as opposed to The Atlantic and the New York Times, she was designated a columnist, giving her more leeway for personal expression in print and on her own accounts than a reporter would have. So, Kate Baldwin for CNN can't say a lot compared to what, if I was hired to do opinion pieces for CNN, which would never happen. I don't think Zaslav likes me. Been let go by that company twice. Other journalists at the Post describe her to NPR as a collegial, collaborative, and richly sourced reporter in the world of tech executives, content producers, and influencers. Yet they say she could be unyielding, whether scrapping online or defending her own work. I think that comes with being... and this is going to sound sexist, but I think that comes with being a woman in that space of the tech world. Just defending their work. Because who was the woman who did the, not the CRISPR, but like the blood thing? The one with the deep voice, who forced her voice deep so that she would be seen as serious. I think, again, it's different for everybody. But that's what I'm seeing as somebody who's an outside observer. On Wednesday, in an interview with The New Yorker about her new Substack publication, Lorenz said, "What I'll say on the record is every single president that I've ever seen in my lifetime is a war criminal." Okay. But that's a way to quit a job. That is like sincerely the craziest, insane way that I've ever seen somebody just go, "I'm leaving." Also, don't even if that's how Armie Hammer got in trouble, is because he posted to on his Instagram to close friends, to people, like a handful of people that he even allow follow him. That's how he posted that woman on his bed on all fours. Go watch that video. It's not safe for work, but it is insane. He's very clearly high. I'm like, oh God, cheating on his wife and all that stuff. I sweat right through the shirt. It's crazy. Okay, this next one comes from the Wall Street Journal, written by Anne Marie Alcantara. Oh, I just got a job denial from Odyssey. I don't remember applying to them. I'm going to hit unsubscribe. Why are they subscribing me to anything? They're desperate for work and being brutally open about it. Job seekers are putting pink banners on and the word hashtag desperate on their LinkedIn profiles. Now, this is something I have not seen a lot of, but it is very much the case. I have seen it before. It's very much the case. On LinkedIn, you can go and put like hashtag open to work or hashtag hiring on your profile picture. Apparently, hashtag open to work means that you are like, people see it as weak, which I think is fucking insane. That's so stupid. You should know if you are if you're a person who is hiring for a job and you see somebody with open to work on their thing, you're like, oh, they're desperate. You shouldn't be working. Like, you should go to a therapist and truly, sincerely look deep within yourself, because that is so stupid to judge people for putting open to work. And if I put hashtag desperate, then yeah, that means I'm friggin' desperate. The things that people have had to do to survive in these past couple of years, even just past 4 years, has been astronomically crazy. Those who are using the hashtag desperate banner say their desperation often reflects the fact that many have been without a job for months or years. Meanwhile, inflation, recruiting scams, fake job listings, and a cooling employment market for white collar and other jobs have people feeling defeated. Some of them are working, just not in their chosen professions. The September jobs report showed a still strong labor market, but Labor Department data from last week showed, this is from October 10th rather, so this is 12 days ago, showed the number of workers quitting their jobs fell to the lowest rate in 4 years in August, a sign people are more cautious about finding new roles. There are 2.5 job applicants for every one open job on LinkedIn, up from 1.5 in 2022, according to LinkedIn data. People are willing to do anything, even if it's not in their profession. I know this just said people aren't working in their profession. Some people aren't working in their profession. And it is, in fact, I mean, it's demeaning in some cases. You know, when I was working at the cleaners before I got Cartoon Network, I was making $11 an hour, like working in a place that had no air conditioning, that had a toilet with a broken door, and I didn't even have a chair to sit on. I had to sit on a dehumidifier or a humidifier, one of those. I think it was a dehumidifier, and it was just. And then and then another job I had was working at the country club, which again is just things that you have to do just to get by, or working fast food, serving restaurants, all that stuff, selling stuff, and people who have never been in that position just don't understand. And then there's people who have been in that position but don't remember. This is the reason why I like Kevin Hart. I like Dwayne Johnson, because they remember what it's like to be broke. And they are humble, and they make whatever movie, TV show, whatever they can to make things better and to never be in that position again. And then they also help out people under them. So if Dwayne pees in bottles on the set, I don't give a heck. I've already cursed during this episode. I probably shouldn't curse anymore. I'm going to continue reading. Recruiters, hiring managers, and career coaches are divided on whether LinkedIn's hashtag open to work banner helps or hurts would-be employees. I've mentioned that previously in this episode. Workers can mark their profiles as being open to work without displaying the badge. Using the highly visible banner alerts their extended network about their need for a job. It can potentially spur referrals. It's bullshit. Or it can broadcast dissatisfaction with someone's current role. What if your current role was December 2023 and you haven't had anything since? The hashtag desperate banner draws even more attention to someone's need for a job. Recruiters say the tag could help people get noticed and hired. It could also backfire because some hiring managers might see it as a signal that someone caused problems in the previous workplace experience. That is so fucking dumb. I mean, that is so stupid. Jesus Christ. I like again, if you think that way, you don't deserve your job. If you are somebody who says that's like seeing a desperate banner is desperate, you don't deserve your job. I want to put you in the position of some people who don't have shit. It's ridiculous. They say it's a lot like dating. Oh God. I accidentally hit the standing desk, a button on the standing desk, and it went all the way to its lowest point. And the job market at this point is not getting better. We're not seeing numbers change. I see. Let's go back to this like dating point. You see stories about people taking out billboard ads like let me find my wife, let me find my husband, all that stuff. And that's a cute news story, but is that not more desperate than somebody putting up, hey, I can't feed my children, please, I'm desperate for any job? Again, if you can't see this pain, then you don't understand. Why am I forced to sit? I'm not forced, but why do I have to scroll through my feed on LinkedIn and see you post about having a positive attitude in the midst of triumphs and the world around? Why am I forced to see that every single day, as opposed to seeing, hey, this person needs a job, let me go and help them. Because you might be the thing that changes their life. You might be the catalyst, the reason why they can wake up tomorrow and be excited, or at least be content and say, hey, I had nice conversations. Someone told me to keep going. As opposed to you going, oh, this is desperate, you should take that off. It's the same thing that I see. Again, this is the same. I've mentioned this before. Every time I post, it gets like 20 views, and if I was some person in Poughkeepsie posting this, or Boston or whatever, posting the same thing I post, I'd have 7,000 referrals and likes, and people would be offering me a job left and right. But because I'm me, I get messages. Oh, you should delete this. Oh, you're so sad. You shouldn't feel that way. Oh, you're gonna get a job. All this stuff. No, that's not how it works. I can be as positive as I want to, but there needs to be action from that point. And you can't just go out and make content and be all that stuff. It doesn't make sense. But there's so many double standards when it comes to LinkedIn posts. And for people out here, and I'm serious, like people are like writing suicide notes on here. or like how they're so down in the dumps and all this stuff, and I've applied to 700 jobs. The fuck does that supposed to do? Seriously, what does you applying to 700 jobs do that's different than me applying for 100 jobs? 100 jobs that are in my field versus you applying to 700 jobs that are around. It's insane. There's this hypocrite nature of LinkedIn where people think they're better than you and they know the answers, but they have never been in your position, or if they have, it was 20 years ago. There are people who come to my profile and yes, they'll see like, oh, it doesn't work. I see it. But then I'll go to their profiles. I'll see they've had a job for 30 years, the same company. And they think they have the answer. It's 2024. Things are different. I can't. There are too many people who think I can apply to a job at Warner Brothers and then walk up to the door and knock on the front door and be like, hey, Warner Brothers and the Warner sister, let me talk to you. And they'll be like, come on in. There's a show called There's Johnny. Again, I've mentioned this before. There's a show called There's Johnny where I'm just stepping on stuff. There's a show called There's Johnny, created by Paul Reiser. It was on Hulu. It lasted one season. It was fine. Where a kid is a huge fan of Johnny Carson. He graduates from from high school. He like applies, or no, he just takes a bus from his hometown to the Johnny Carson show and tries to apply for a job. And they're like, who are you? And then he's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll go home. And then they have a job for him at the end of the pilot episode. They go, well, we could use a PA. That's not how life is. And if it was, that was, that's how it was 40 or 50 years ago. In the 90s, I could move to LA, drug-ridden LA. I could move to LA, and within a month, I could probably have a job. With the skills I have, within a month, I could probably have a job. Less than that. Even if it's PA work. Do the same thing for New York. But it is 2024, and things are so much harder. And for you to go on LinkedIn and think that you're better than somebody because you're posting this hypocritical, faux, happy BS is unfair and is callous. And you're nobody. In the end, once you get off LinkedIn, you're a big old nobody. Like what is you posting? I've felt defeated for the past 2 weeks because I've applied to 100 jobs and this is how my life blah 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 blah. Like, what is that going to do? How is that different than me going, hey, I'm having a rough time. It's been 10 months. I've applied to several jobs, but no one's hiring. Does anyone know of anything? Here's a link to my portfolio. How is that any different? Anyway, I could go on and on about this, and I will, but I don't want to. Listen, if you like what you heard here, I'm not going to do another story. I'll just do it next week so I can have something to talk about. If you like what you heard here, head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where you can see me talk to famous people. Tomorrow, again, this new interview drops. I just talked to Des Bishop. That's not the person I talked to for this next episode on the Constitutionals. You'll learn of that person tomorrow. But I just spoke to Des Bishop, comedian. You can find that interview under the interviews on youtube.com/cpluscomedy. We can see a video version of this show as well as the other shows, the Constitutionals, which is the entertainment business news show, and Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show. You can subscribe to those shows wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at cpluscomedy. Follow me on those platforms at Chad Black White. Thank you so much for listening. I'm going to bow out at this point.